when victims died in the tsunami. As a nation, we mourned. A few years ago, when 9/11 took place, as a nation, we began to mourn. When popes died, when presidents died, when people of influence died, as a nation, we began to mourn. We can't help as human beings to be touched by the feelings of national disasters and national calamities. However, when Jesus used the word mourn, he was not talking about national disasters. He used a word mourn that connotes the feeling of when a loved one dies. You see, it's one thing to cry because the Pope dies, but it's another kind of mourning when it's your baby, when it's your mother, when it's, y'all ain't hearing me. It's one kind of mourning when thousands of people that you did not know die, but when somebody close to you dies, it's a, y'all ain't hearing me. It's a different kind of tear. It's one thing to cry because the Pope died, but when Daddy died, help me somebody, that's a different kind of tear. It's one thing to have a void left in your heart when your favorite entertainer dies, but when mama calls home dad, God calls home mama, when God calls home daddy, it leaves another kind of void. I wish there was somebody in this house who's ever experienced the loss of somebody close. I wish there was somebody in this house who's ever experienced the pain of a broken heart. Listen, if you've ever had to sit on the front row and watch somebody that you love stretched out in the casket, I tell you, it's a pain that's unbearable. It's a feeling that leaves a hole in your heart. Can I help somebody today? Jesus says that's the kind of feeling that you're blessed to have, but not when someone dies. He says the mourning or the brokenness you ought to have is over our sinful condition. Jesus says, blessed are those that mourn, but we're not mourning because somebody died. We're mourning because of our sinful nature. Someone say sinful nature. I know it's not going to be a whole lot of shouting because I'm preaching about sin today. But Jesus says, blessed are those who mourn. In my research, the Spirit of the Lord, he dropped a nugget, a major nugget on me. And the Spirit taught me that there are three spiritual impossibilities for Spirit-filled believers. Meaning there are three things as a Spirit-filled believer that you cannot do. I know what Paul said in Philippians, that I can do all things through Christ. But the Spirit taught me, Andrew, that there are three things that a Spirit-filled believer cannot do. Tell us one neighbor, there are some things you cannot do. The first thing that, catch this, a Spirit-filled believer cannot do is this. A Spirit-filled believer cannot be clueless to sin. Someone say clueless to sin. If you are filled with the Spirit, preach Pastor Jackson, and if you are in a sinful situation, it is impossible for a Spirit-filled person to be clueless to sin. Help me somebody. That nobody has to tell you you are wrong if you are filled with the Spirit. I mean, you can't show me a Spirit-filled person that's clueless to sin, because as soon as you get saved, you get an invisible partner called conviction. And conviction has a way of showing up everywhere you go. That when you sin, conviction wakes you up in the morning. Conviction pours your cup of coffee. Conviction bakes the bagel, put butter on the toast. Conviction gets in the car. Help me somebody. Conviction sits beside you on the workplace. Conviction rides home with you. Conviction is always there. You can't tell me that you are filled with the Spirit and stay clueless. I wish I had a praying church. in this house. That's why it is a misnomer for folk who claim to be filled with the Spirit, that claim that the devil is a liar. Listen, the first thing that happens to you the moment you get saved is you get a spirit of conviction inside you that won't let you sit down and speak to folk when you know you mistreated them. It won't let you just walk by and not say nothing when you offended them. When you get saved, you get conviction. Oh God, I'm so grateful for the choir, because y'all already shouting. Ain't gonna be much shouting today. Someone just say clueless. You can't be clueless to sin. It's a spiritual impossibility that you cannot be clueless and be filled with. You can try to act like you're clueless and show up to church and the preacher preach on the issue. You can ignore the preacher, open the Bible, and the Bible will read the verse on the issue. You can close the Bible, get in the car, turn on the radio, and the radio player will start singing the issue. Turn off the radio, turn on the TV, and the word channel will preach on the issue. Turn off the TV, turn off the radio, don't go to church, don't read your Bible, but somebody will knock on the door and say, listen, this is the issue. It's a spiritual impossibility to be clueless. Okay, I got another one. Secondly, it is a spiritual impossibility to be totally controlled by sin. I'm going somewhere. That the spirit-filled person, it's impossible for them to be totally controlled. The moment you get saved, you are endowed with power. I wish I had a praying church. Y'all kind of sleep. Y'all just tell your neighbor, wake up and catch this. The moment you get saved, you have been endowed with power. I don't care if you are a babe, there's some stuff that now you can say no to, that before you got saved, what came up came out. What you saw, you got. But now that you are saved, now you have some power to say no. Sin has lost, check this out, its control. Now, sin has not lost its influence. Oh God, I got the wrong crowd. I got the wrong. Sister Phillips, it is a difference between influence and control. Y'all ain't hearing me. Sin can influence you, but sin cannot control you. Tells your neighbor, I'm in control. Yeah, greater is he that's in me than he that is in the world. Meaning this, that the moment I got saved, I got power now to resist the devil and the devil flee from me. That's why it's a struggle now. Can I teach somebody today? Some of y'all think that your struggle with sin speaks of the absence of the Spirit. But really, your struggle with sin speaks of the presence of the Spirit. Because before you got saved, you didn't struggle not to sin. It came easy. I guess I got the wrong crowd. I guess I got the wrong crowd. Has anybody ever made several U-turns in the middle of the street? I mean, you were driving home, got a phone call, made a U-turn. Before you got there, had a second thought, made another U-turn. Before you got back home, they got a call. What's taking you so long? Made another U-turn. Help me, y'all ain't hearing me. Anybody here ever make multiple U-turns? That's because you are straddling between your flesh and your spirit. If anybody's honest, tells whenever I'm a multiple U-turner. I'm a multiple. I knew I wasn't going to get a whole lot of witness. Nobody over there said nothing, but it's some multiple U-turners over here too. It's a spiritual impossibility to, number one, are y'all hearing me? It's a spiritual impossibility to be clueless to sin. Secondly, to be controlled by sin. Are y'all ready? But thirdly, it is an impossibility to be comfortable in sin. I'm taking off the gloves. You can't tell me that you are filled with the Spirit and comfortable being a fornicator, comfortable being an adulterer, comfortable being a homosexual, comfortable being a lesbian, comfortable being a backstabber, an alcoholic, a gambler, a liar, a ditch digger. You cannot be comfortable. It ought to bother you. The difference between me now. Where y'all going? Y'all leaving? Y'all don't leave me, bro. I'm laying it down. Y'all going? All right. I know it's hot. It's hot. I understand. It's hot. It's hot. I know. It's hot. It's hot. I know. I don't blame you. It's hot. Can't tell. I know. I understand. It's hot. It's hot. But the difference between me now and me then is because now I'm not comfortable. Before I'm finished, some more of y'all gonna get up and walk out. I know. I'm not comfortable. Sin is what Jesus died for. Sin is why they nailed him to the cross. Sin is why he came down 42 generations. So therefore, I can't sin and be comfortable. Sit down, sit down. It ought to bother you every now and then. Eli, they ain't hearing me. It ought to bother you. I mean, at some point, you ought to say, Mama didn't raise me like this. At some point, you got to say, listen, I got to change how I'm living. At some, it might not happen overnight, but at some point, I got to get up out of this. At some point, I got to do better than this. At some point, I can't stay like this. And I don't want to hang around folk that's comfortable in sinful situations. I wish I had a praying church. And the problem is that now we've gotten too comfortable. I wish I had a praying. I wish I had, Lord, let me preach it like I feel it. I'm here. This is where I'm at. But I'm not comfortable. And the problem is that nowadays people have taken the exit and have said, well, this is just how I am. But can I give you a word? Even if it is how you are, you don't have to be comfortable how you. Okay. Let me help you. Jaden, she's 3, and she understands that at 8:30, 9 o'clock, when her mother says it's time to go to bed, she understands that part of it's a routine. Y'all know about kids got the routine. And when the routine is over, the lights go out. However, she's not comfortable in darkness. So her mother put a night light in the house that even though the darkness dominates the light, there's still a little light shining. You see, even if darkness dominates your life, you ought to be like a child and say, well, Lord, I'm here, but guess what? I'm not comfortable being here, and so my goal is to illuminate my life. I heard this phrase lately. Y'all sit down, sit down. I heard this phrase. I met a person recently. I might say it wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. He is a functional alcoholic. Is that right? Did I say that right? Okay. Did I say it right? A functioning or functional. Can we edit that from the tape? He is a functional alcoholic. He can get tore up from the floor up and still function. I mean, he can drink all weekend, but come Monday morning, help me somebody, at work on time, get off work, go to happy hour, drink all night, Tuesday morning, go to work, can function. He has been drinking so long that he can function. Help me somebody, as an alcoholic. I don't ever want to get that point with sin. You are a functional sinner. Sin all night long. Show up Sunday morning. Live any kind of way. FS, yeah. Functional sinner, FS. Okay, some more getting ready to leave. Let me get to the text. Jesus is saying to us, our sin ought to leave us broken. I mean, listen, all of us mess up. All of us sin. I mean, from the pulpit to those that look like they don't mess up. They just look that way. Trust me. But the issue is, when we mess up, the blessing comes in the brokenness. David in Psalm 51, verse 8, David says, in Psalm 51, go there. David says, when I messed up with Bathsheba, David says, I was so broken by this thing that my bones ached. And then we're getting ready to leave. You ready to leave? You coming back? Come back? Okay. Everybody leave. I'm running them out. David says that I was so broken that my bone, I'm in verse 8. He says my bones. Now, if you have a King James version, he literally used the words broken. In the NIV, he used the word crush. Are y'all still with me? And so David says that my sin with Bathsheba, it took so much out of me, Michelle, until I couldn't even hear joy and gladness. It wasn't a salvation issue, but I was so broken on the inside, I didn't feel like praising God. Y'all didn't hear me in this house. Now, it happened as a result of the issue with Bathsheba. Y'all know the Bathsheba incident. Yeah, come on, y'all know what happened. So someone said, no, let me tell you. But David sinned with Bathsheba. But Sheba was so fine until David broke 5 of the 10 commandments. Tells me that's fine. She had it going on. He lied. He coveted his neighbor's property. He committed adultery. He stole. He bare false witness. He broke 5 of the top 10 commandments. She had to be fine. I don't ever want to meet nobody that fine. Y'all ain't hearing me. Can y'all? He broke 5. Oh, it ain't but he broke. She was fine. God, she was fine. God, she was fine. My wife would get mad, but she was fine. Baby, she was fine. I gotta move on, but fine is fine. Now, God, listen, I'm saved to the bone and sanctified to the marrow, but fine is fine. Y'all ain't hearing me. But Sheba, only 10. He broke. I got to finish the sermon, but can I give y'all some advice? Don't ever date nobody that will make you break. Y'all ain't here. Y'all listen, baby. Listen, you too fine. You gonna make me break some kind? No, you better keep stepping. Everybody can't handle that. Now you want them to be able to break, couple. No, come on. Okay, come on. No, come on. Come on. Want to be a little fried now. come here. Fool now, But David, in verse 8, he was so broken by his sin. Jerome until he says, Lord, I can't even hear joy and gladness.